Hello, beautiful people. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to everyone.
Maybe one of your devices is connected to my Bluetooth headset.
Huh?
I think one of your devices is connected to my Bluetooth headset because it took over my. I heard your voice and then I can't.
Huh. Let's see. Hello, Kent. Nice to have you here. Thank you for being here. Today's live stream, we will be talking about the 5 erotic blueprint. Have you heard about that? It's actually a framework that Jaya, who is a somatic sexologist, developed. If there's 5 love language, there's also 5 erotic blueprint, which is specifically who are you as an erotic being, what really turns you on, and knowing that each people we have different turn on, we have different personality of how we express ourselves as an erotic being. So I'm loving reading her book called Blueprint for Pleasure. And as I go through that book, I realize what my erotic blueprint is. And I can see the pattern of how am I as a lover and how do I actually express my love in that way. And also getting to know my partner's erotic blueprint is also very interesting. I'll be sharing the link to the quiz at the end of the live stream. So I hope that everyone stick around. Thank you, Kent. And feel free for everyone who's looking, drop your name and where you're from, where are you joining me from, so that I can shout out your name and where you are. Hmm. So just diving deep into this topic. Now, for the 5 erotic blueprints, there's actually one, what they called the energetic. So, the energetic people, they actually get so aroused and turn on with the anticipation, with light touch. So, if you think of a body of water, you just need to press it slowly or just gently, and then it will create a ripple effect. So for energetic, they just need light touches and it will already consumes, like it will go all the way through their body. But if you try to hold them very close, or if you get so aggressive and excited with them, they tend to be overwhelmed instead. So instead of being turned on, they get turned off. So that's the energetic. Now, the next thing is we will talk about the sensual. I will actually share here mm, the different blueprint. All right, let me share it. Oh, I cannot. Okay. doesn't allow a lot of text in the chat. So let me first we talk about the energetic. So yeah, energetic people actually thrive with anticipation and space. So if you partner with someone, you know, it's really good to get to know them better as well. What actually turns them on? Will they be turned on by just very light, subtle touch and the anticipation of like, oh, I'm gonna kiss you now, but no, there's still some space? Because for them, that really turns them on, the anticipation. Oh, hi. Hi, Ping. It's so nice to have you here. Good morning. Good evening from where you're at. Thank you for being here. I'll be sharing I'm not sure if I've shared to you the quiz so that you will get to know your erotic blueprint will be because there's definitely five. So I just talk about the energetic type of blueprint. And the next one will be the sensual. I'll share it in the chat. So, the sensual lovers, these are people who love things related to their senses. So, maybe, if their eyes are ignited, if they see their if they say that everything is organized and it looks comfy in bed, then they get so excited about that. They're the most artistic among all the blueprints. They like the smell of people. If you are someone who gets turned on by someone smelling really good or looking, the appearance looks so good, or like if you taste a food and you really express how it felt, you feel pleasure around that, then you might be a sensual type of lover. Now, the shadow side of sensual is sometimes they just get stuck into their head. Like when you're having some intimate moment with a partner who is sensual, this person might be worrying like, oh, do I look good? Do I smell good down there? Is my expression actually like turning him on, her on? Like that's the shadow side of a sensual. But if you get the superpower of sensual, it's like everything gets, this person will be able, sensual person are able to tap into such an amazing orgasmic uh, feeling just by touching their hands, just by smelling something good or just tasting something delicious. Those are the sensual type of erotic being. Now let's go to the third one, which is, ooh, hi Nox. Thank you for being here. In your new story, your character Sasha talks about being a paid mistress of a married man. Is that a common fantasy? Nox is talking about the erotic novels that I'm actually writing, and all of my Patreon and YouTube members have access to that. I already released my third series of that book. And yes, I'm sure it's a fantasy of a lot of people. And I actually know someone who is doing that. And I notice how much there is that shame and judgment inside me when I heard it first time. But when I start shifting it to curiosity and asking what led her to do that, I was so surprised for the reason. And I use that as an inspiration in creating that novel. And I think it's more common than we think. Thank you, Nox, for sharing that. And thank you for being a YouTube member. Appreciate your support. So now let's go down to our third erotic blueprint, sexual. So sexual people, they're straightforward. And actually this is the concept of sex that we know right now, which is nudity, penetration, straight to the genital, orgasm. True penetration is like the goal. These are the sexual people. And I think the good side of sexual is that it's very easy. Like they get turned on so easily. You don't have to wait like the energetic, which energetic wants space, wants anticipation. Like don't go near me right away. Don't go to my genitals right away. Like make me just breathe there. That's energetic. And for sensual, like, oh, I need everything to look good. I need to feel good. I need to smell good. But for sexual, like, no, I'm ready. Let's get it on. And actually, I would say I probably lean toward more sexual. I did took the test and my result is a shape shifter, which we will talk about later on. But I think my primary blueprint is actually sexual. I yeah, I enjoy it and I love it, and it doesn't take me a long time to actually get excited. And the next one will be, ooh, I love this one. Next one is kinky. So kinky people enjoys exploring edges and taboo. People who are kinky, they are turned on, and taboo can vary. Depends on how you grow up, where you grow up, and what your set of beliefs. Because maybe for people who grew up in a very strict religion, doggy style is already a taboo for them because missionary is just the only thing. Or maybe having sex like more than 2 times a day, that's already a taboo for them. So taboo and kinky stuff can definitely vary, and people who are kinky usually they have a lot of shame in them because again, society, we often shame and guilt the things and judge the things that we don't understand. And for kinky people, sometimes they even judge themselves like, why do I get turned on by this? Why do I get turned on just by smelling hair? Why do I get turned on just by seeing someone with a tattoo or with a piercing? And just because it's not said to be normal, then it's already bad. But it's not necessarily like that. How amazing it is for us to be turned on by certain thing. How amazing it is to actually have variety within our relationship. And I think kinky people actually brings in the fun, brings in the excitement, and as what I shared here, it really explores the edges of pleasure and orgasm. Some kinky stuff that I really enjoy is role playing. It just lets me be a different type of person and embody a certain personality. And I also love playing. I love toys. So I I love kinky people and kinky stuff. Now last but not the least is a shapeshifter. So a shapeshifter is blend of all the blueprint. They're very versatile and adaptable. So the shadow of the this blueprint though is they can be judged as too much. People often they might hear that, oh my god, you're too much, you're too complex. Like you seem to they have such voracious appetite for different type of play, for different type of sexual experiences because they can speak all the language. They're multilingual. So if we think of it as a language, they can speak it all, they can have it all, and they want it all. So that's a shapeshifter. And I think all of us have the ability to be a shapeshifter, but sometimes people they're just introduced to one idea, which is most common is the sexual, because again, that's what is commonly introduced to us in social media that, okay, if you want to have sex with someone, there needs to be a penetration, otherwise it's not sex. You have to be naked and stuff like that. And if it's something different than that, then it falls already to the kinky side. And again, there's also some misconception that kinky, like this BDSM stuff, is bad. It's harmful, and it could be. There's always a potential for that. So it's always important to be mindful and be conscious of the things that you are doing and that you participate in and that you are curious about before you dive deep into your curiosity. First, make sure that you do some research first, some precautions for yourself. Oh, hi, Levi. Thanks for being here. Wow. My friend Pink and Levi, such supportive friends. And they're also one of the most amazing couples that I know. Levi is from the US and Pink is from the Philippines, and they both live in the US right now. Louisiana, right? Oh my God, I hope I got it right. Thank you, Pink and Levi. And I would really love to interview both of you. Pink is pretty shy, but definitely I want to share your story for all people, because a lot of people also worry that if you bring your Filipino wife to the US, they will change and they will lose their conservative Filipina personality. But you, Pink and Levi, both of you thrive as a couple, and both of you are someone that I also admire and respect. Really an inspiration for me as well. So those are the five erotic blueprints that I've been studying. I've been trying to understand more and actually play around with me and Eli. So as I've said, I tend to play around in the blueprint of sexual because I love being intimate with my partner, and it really doesn't take me long to be ready and to get excited. But as I explored around this realm of eroticism, I realized I shifted to becoming a shapeshifter. I get curious, like when I experience bondage for the first time, which is being tied up, that really opens me up to idea that there's so much more to this. Because I was tied up and I was like very restricted, and it scared the hell out of me to the point of like, you know what, if this person snap out and end up killing me, like, heck, there's nothing I can do, and I'm ready for my fate. And just me letting go, surrendering, and fully accepting my situation. Wow, it's even hard to fathom. It's hard to express word other than close to the feeling that I got is blissful, intense, and therapeutic, to the point that the rope in my skin just feels like I'm being cuddled and hugged. And that's like a mixture of kinky and energetic type of blueprint. It's just amazing. And I was fully covered, I was fully dressed, I was in my leggings, I was in long sleeve because I was also worried that I might get some ropes. And I don't necessarily advise everyone to jump into exploring this area, because this is definitely, you need to be with someone who's an expert of this. You need to be with someone who knows what they're doing, because playing around with ropes, if you put it too tight, some of your artery might get restricted. And yeah, it could really do a lot of damage. And I have my Japanese friend who's an expert of shibari, He really studied that, and I've introduced a lot of other friends to him who wants to experience rope bondage. And for other, it's like a form of art too. And yeah, that's one of my favorite um, play. Sometimes we do like a rope party, and it's not what you think. It doesn't involve anything sexual. It's just experiencing for people to actually be tied up and to remove the misconception that it's bad, it's dangerous. Because you have the choice, you can always create a safe container for this to be okay. And after that experience, it led me to explore other things. And I'm just grateful that I have a partner who's open minded as I do. I think Eli falls more towards sensual, but because I've been introducing a lot of ideas, he now um, evolve into becoming a shapeshifter and also curious about everything. Sometimes I get too fast paced and he would tell me like, "Hey, wait, I can't shift as fast as you want." Like before you just want to go directly, and now you want everything to be slow. You want music, you want oil and stuff like that. Wait. So yeah, it can be overwhelming really to also be in a shapeshifter place because you want different things, you want variety, and your lovers might not be able to keep up. So you need to try to slow down, and really self-awareness and being mindful in this realm is so important because it can also create a lot of tension between you and your lover. Hi, Ian. Better late than never. So I just talked about the 5 erotic blueprints and I actually shared them in the chat. The energetic, sensual, sexual, kinky, and the shapeshifter. And again, I'll share the quiz link so that you will know your you will know your erotic blueprint at the end of this live stream. So I really appreciate all of you for being here. And please share it in the once this goes live. I would love if you can share it in the chat. What is your energetic? What is your erotic blueprint? I asked Leia, Shay, and Maya to actually take this quiz, and I was so surprised. They have different result, and we did a content about that. But unfortunately, it cuts. Like I wasn't able to record the rest of our interview because I'm not sure what happened. My phone died whatsoever. But I will reschedule interviewing them, talking to them. How was it taking the quiz and learning your erotic blueprint? And how does it resonate with you? Do you really relate to it? And how do you see it uh, affecting your relationship? Good, bad? Are you having some struggles or challenges around that? And their responses was amazing. It's so nice to actually hear people's perspectives and experience. And I'm just so grateful that these ladies are very open minded to just trying new things and, you know, accepting ideas or, yeah, just looking into an idea and testing it out. Mm, I will also share something. One moment. And if any of you have question about the different erotic blueprint, feel free to drop that in the chat. I'll be more than happy to answer whatever question you may have. And And also just want to share this. I am very excited. I just launched and published and announced that I will be doing a 2-hour workshop. And in this workshop, I will be talking about laying down a foundation of your relationship. And this workshop is good for singles and or people who are in a relationship. Someone If you're someone who actually wants to attract like your desired partner, whatever may whatever it is, and if you're in a relationship who wants to improve, especially the intimacy in the relationship, I think this is actually a very good workshop for you. So if you're single and if you're already tired of attracting the wrong type of people and wondering if you're able to really meet someone who matches your value, this is a workshop that is also designed for you. Because in this workshop, I will be guiding people in finding out what do they really want and what are the things that they value the most, and using it as a filter when it comes to attracting the right person. Or if you're in a relationship and you find yourself in a situation where you love each other, but then it feels more like you're friends instead of lovers. You're like a roommate now because the intimacy, the excitement is already gone. And in that workshop, I will be talking about again the erotic blueprint and how can you actually use realizing your erotic blueprint in igniting novelty, excitement, and desire again within your relationship. So those are the few things that you would get, and there's so much more. Again, I'm a shapeshifter myself and have so much appetite when it comes to learning ideas, and I have a lot of framework that I've not only just read and know about, but I've actually tested in myself. And I thought, if I'm able to experience this blissful sexual experiences with my partner and have this amazing relationship, I think everyone has that potential too. I'm not saying we're perfect. There's definitely a lot of struggles along the relationship. And that's why I also added in this workshop, we will be talking about how do we turn conflict into creativity? How can we grow in this relationship where those triggers that might come up with our partner, we can be a team to heal those and to grow from there. So, in this workshop, I will also share some framework techniques that you can do on your own if you're single to prepare yourself for that amazing partner, or if you're in a relationship, this really comes in handy so you can bridge the gap of your communication issue. I think uh, that's in the top of why people in a relationship, or all of us, will have some conflict with other people is sometimes because of misunderstanding, and sometimes our intention is different than what comes out into our mouth. So it's not really what you said, it's how you say it. And I am so excited to share to you all the things that I've learned and acquired all through the years of me learning about relationship psychology and diving deep into sexuality and intimacy. And I'm just so excited to share all those juicy nuggets and results that I've acquired all throughout the years. And of course, for those who will be joining, you're not only learning for yourself, but this is also a good way to give back, because 10% of the earnings that I will have, I will actually share it to Girls Got This. So your journey to deeper connection and love also supports a greater cause. So 10% of that I will donate to Girls Got This. This is an organization here in the Philippines that empowers young girls at risk of child sex trafficking and exploitation. And Girls Got This actually provides a safe space where these girls can gain confidence, develop life skills, and build brighter future. So if you want to join this workshop, and you're not only investing in yourself, but you're also helping to protect and empower these vulnerable girls. And if you want to learn more about them, let me share the link here. Also, me, Maya, and Leia, we are planning to go to Siargao this October 4. Leia is running a goddess retreat there. So, if you know someone, a woman who wants to embody that goddess in her, feel free to reach out to Leia, or she posted the details on her Facebook account. Feel free to check it out. And also, if you have your girlfriend's partner who you think might benefit from this, feel free to, invite them as well. And I was also thinking, I also told them that once I have this workshop, whatever the earnings that I will get from here, 10% I'll also donate for that goddess retreat that Leia is doing. I really appreciate all of you for sticking around. I hope that you're able to learn at least a thing or two about this topic of exploring your erotic blueprints, because I feel like there's so much more that we can learn, there's so much more that we can discover. And it's just amazing if we let ourselves, just like a kid, let ourselves wonder, be in a curiosity, and be in awe about things. Let's, tap into that inner child of ours, which is our bubbly, curious side, and learn something new, explore something that would be pleasurable and juicy for you, and if you're in a relationship, for you and your partner. So I'm really excited what would be your result once you take the 5 erotic blueprints. And for those who just join and jump in, feel free to drop down your name and where you're from, so I can shout out for you. And how do you feel about your sexuality? Are you confident about it, or are there shame and guilt that you still feel wrap around your sexuality? Feel free to share it in the chat, and let's talk about it. I'm so grateful that I have this friendship with Leia, Shay, and Maya, and we have this safe space to just encourage and support each other. It's it's beautiful to to witness that. I'm just grateful that I have those beautiful women in my life. Hi, Pink. You're probably shapeshifter, Pink. You have it all. You have voracious appetite. You have it all and you want it all. And you should be happy. Now there's two shapeshifter in the room. And it's very good because you're not restricted into just one thing. A lot of people, they, it's not that, because again, all of us are capable to be open and to explore and to experience all this erotic blueprint. But some are just unwilling. And maybe because of their limiting beliefs, the society, they're too afraid that what if people will know about this, that I love this kinky stuff? Like, they might, you know, this cancel culture can also tend to limit people from exploring. They're afraid of judgment and they feel shame about themselves, and it takes a lot of work and healing to do in order for us to really unleash our full superpowers and tap into all of this. And whenever I explore something new with Eli, I really make sure that consent is there. So I actually created, and I think it will be published tomorrow. I talk about con- consent and having that safety container as well. Especially if you're, as I said, if you are trying to explore different sexual territory than you're used to, it's very important that you establish that consent with your partner. And consent means saying yes to something that you're okay, no for something that, like, hell no, I won't do that, and maybe for something that you're still indecisive about. And for a partner, it is really important to honor to honor that consent. Let's say, for example, you're in a relationship and you wanted to try outdoor adventure, you want to do outdoor sex, and your partner would say, like, ah, no, I don't think I'm ready for that. That's too risky for me. No, for you, you need to honor. You need to say, it's okay, babe. Instead of judging, like, oh my God, you're so boring. You're not exciting. Instead of doing that, make sure to actually just be in a place of compassion and understanding and ask, like, what about it that you actually are scared of and you don't want? And sometimes people would say, yes, let's do it. Then that's going to be fun. Then you just realize that, oh wow, this is so nice to have someone who's game to exploring. And sometimes your partner might say, maybe. So if it's a yes, maybe, then probably you just need to give information, or like, okay, like, let's do it in this area, or let's do it when it's already darker, maybe, so that the risk of being caught is less. Then the yes maybe is has more potential. Maybe you just need more information and talk more about that. But if it's a no, maybe probably lean more towards no. And n- yes can always be no. Like, if someone already say yes, let's do the outdoor adventure, and when you're already outdoor, the person might feel nervous and can't do it anymore. And again, if you want to build that safety container, honor their no. Like, it's okay. We don't have to do it. Let's try it another time, or let's try a different thing, or let's get to know what happened, why it becomes a no to you. Just be in a curiosity instead of judgment. And no can never be a yes, because sometimes, when people say no, there's really something deep down that needs that you need to uncover, that you need to heal, that you need to understand, probably. And it probably might take a long time for you to be able to resolve that. So, again, if you are interested in diving to a different territory, sexual territory, make sure that you create the safety, the consent, and the safety container first. And if that doesn't make sense, feel free to ask question so that I can clarify that in the chat. Pink, yes, it appears so. I'm intrigued by different experiences. So maybe I'm a shapeshifter. Ooh, that's exciting. Well, I'm going to share at the end of this workshop the link on what are the link for you to take the quiz of, and so you can know what's your erotic blueprint will be. Definitely. I have experience in the past. Again, this is about being able to express what works for you and what not, being able to set boundaries. When I was single and dating and mingling, I come across this guy who I had amazing experience with, but then it was too much. And for me, I don't want to say stop or no, because I don't want to hurt his feelings, or I don't want to be seen as, oh, I thought you're in for this or you like this, but now you're saying no. And what I just did, and I was like pain and sore for 3 days. And I told myself, like, oh, I didn't want to meet him again or see him again. And probably I could have done better. Now, with the knowledge that I have, I probably would have, set proper boundaries. That, hey, that sounds exciting, what you're thinking, but I don't want to be bite in my face to the point of me bleeding. I don't want scratches that would leave scars for days. I might be able to say those boundaries, or like, hey, let's use the safe word. If it's too much, I'm going to use the safe word. And make sure that that person that you're engaging with is someone that you can trust to actually honor those boundary. So that was a painful 3-day lesson for me. The hell boundary is very important, and being able to have that consent and knowing that you're in a safety container with someone that you're playing and exploring with is really, really important. Mhm. Just going back on the topic of the workshop that I will be doing, which will happen this September 24. This is limited to 30 people only, so there are still remaining slots that are available. So if any one of you who are interested in learning more about that, I shared the link here in the chat, or you can also go into my community in YouTube, and I posted there details of the program. So, another thing, if you're single and you feel anxious about putting yourself out there, fearing rejection or disappointment when trying to date, then I think this workshop might be helpful for you. Because I think once you know yourself better, once you know what you actually want and what you're looking for, it actually boosts your confidence. It gives you that sense of, you know, confidence of knowing who you are and what you want. And I think that's very, very important. It took me 2 years of failing in dating. That's because I'm unsure really about what I want. I thought I want I just want people who are interested in marrying me. But when I come across people who are ready to settle down, I realize like, okay, they have that, but they're not really good partners. I don't see them as a good father figure for my kids. So no. And it took me 2 years to have those failed dates to come to conclusion that, you know what, let me spend time getting to know myself and really being clear on what is it that I actually want. And I ended up realizing that, you know what I want is just to connect with people. I am not really looking for a partner that I could settle down with because I'm already settled. I'm already good. Like I have good job, I have a house, I have my kids. I'm fine now. I just want to be able to meet people, learn from people and exchange value in each other's lives. And when I realized that, the dating scene for me just turned 360. I was able to attract quality people in my life and build amazing friendship and learn so much. And when the right partner comes, it's easy. Well, it took a while. It took three asks for him to finally. I told myself like, sure. I mean, we created a safety consent, like let's try this out and see if it works, and if it doesn't work, then we have the ability to walk away without having to destroy the friendship. And that was amazing. Really having that conversation firsthand is so powerful, and I'm so excited to share all the techniques and process that I actually use myself. So, and I hope that it's something valuable for whoever will be joining me in that workshop. Now, if you're also in a relationship and you've been frustrated that every time you try to bring up an issue, it turns into a fight. That's very tiring and draining. And most people, when it happens like that constantly, they just tend to keep the problem. They just tend to swallow the things. And then eventually it will bottle up and explode. And you'll just be surprised like, whoa, where is that anger coming from? Oh, well, it comes from all the way back last month, last year, because it was not talked about. And I'm so grateful that I have mentors in my life that I followed, that I took their courses, read their book, and followed them online because I learned so much. I learned a lot. Harval Hendricks is one of my mentors. I really love his work, him and his wife. Also, Esther Perel is one of my mentor that I respect so much. Ida Lucy and Jaya. These are my mentors that I'm learning a lot. And I was able to discover a way of communicating to my partner, a way of expressing my desire, a way of expressing the things that I fear about, and a way of expressing appreciation to my partner that really allows us to build that intimacy and really able to look at a conflict, and instead of fighting against each other, we partner as a team in resolving the conflict and challenge that we're facing. And I would really love to see more and more couples teaming up like that. Like, hey, we are not the enemy here, we are a team. And as a team, we can go through this challenge together. So I'm so excited to share some resources and tools during that workshop, and even do a demonstration of how you actually use this communication style in a way that it doesn't look scripted, in a more natural way. Hi, Ian. I'm sensual, energetic. Ooh, that's a very good combination. And yes, more often, sensual and energetic goes hand in hand. And there's a lot of misconception. They said that men tends to be sexual, but actually, you'll be surprised. There's more women that are sexual. Men actually goes everywhere in that blueprint. Not all guys are just go game for sex. Some of the guys, they actually want more space, and they want, you know, artistry and longing and that space between them. Other thing, now if you're single and you find yourself repeating the same mistakes in your relationship and feeling stuck in a cycle of failed connection, this workshop might also be something that's good for you. Because again, as I've said earlier, for 2 years of me being so desperate and finding a partner, I failed miserably. I've connected with a lot of just not ideal partner for me, just very misaligned partner. I even had an experience that really broke my heart where I talked to someone for 6 months and we're very connected already, talking about marriage and all of that, and even leave work early so I could get him and meet him at the airport. And of course, I went to his place, and the next day, when I was sent home, I never heard from him. So painful. And never even got any reason. Oh, well, not true. I actually messaged him like, hey, do you want me to come to your place now? Bring my swimsuit and go swimming? Because that's what you said. And then he just replied like, oh, I'm sorry. I actually have a girlfriend and I can only meet with someone just once. And my mouth just went so big. Like, what? We've been talking 6 months and this is the first time that I'm hearing this. Wow. And never heard of him again. And I've had multiple experiences of being ghosted actually in the past. And I just realized, like, you know what? I wish I have asked. I wish I have the guts of, like, messaging them like, hey, just for feedback, just for reference, just so I I know what can I improve. Can you tell me what went wrong so I can improve? It doesn't have to be that I can make it better and be with you, but I accept that you're gone. I just want the learning for myself. And I think, back then, I guess people was getting, they know that I want to settle down. They know that I have kids. They know that I want something serious. And they're probably realizing that they're not there yet. They're not in that realm. And they're probably just saying things that would be a pleasure to my ear just so they can get me. And I have such a very rigid and limited view back then and very naive and gullible. So it was a painful journey of trying to date and failing multiple times. So if you're someone who can relate, I've actually realized that just again going back to knowing what you really want, knowing what is really important to you, and knowing what your core values are, those are great way to filter who will be the person that you want to entertain, who will be the person that you actually want to let into your life. And I'm definitely very excited to share a way of how you can, get to know your values. And our values might change as well. Our values could change every year. We become a different person. Tomorrow, I've learned something new and I could be a different person already. So it's so important that we do that self introspection and check in with ourselves. And also, if you're in a relationship and past issues are still lingering in your relationship, causing an ongoing tension and affecting your connection, then this workshop might also be good for you, because especially when I'm already like 1 year in this relationship with Eli, I realize that as soon as I feel so safe and comfortable with him, all the triggers are coming out, all the triggers I'm noticing. And it was so overwhelming. We had huge fights during those moments. And I thought, even to the point of like, I'm not even sure if I want to continue. This is too painful. I feel so much pain, and I can see that he's also in pain because his own triggers are coming out too. And because of that, we have such distance between us. And for me, I'm like, you know what? I want to overcome this. I want this relationship. I don't need him. I want him. So what can I do? If I want something, what can I do to keep it? So I have to study, learn, understand myself, understand all these packages, and really lean in to those hard conversation and realize that there's always a way. There's always, you know, maybe you think this is unique for you, but you know what, there's already people who've gone through this, gone through those, and it's there's no shame in asking for help. There's no shame in trying to use some resources that could actually help your relationship. If you want it too bad, if you don't want the relationship to just fall apart, then there's always a way to bridge that gap and to resolve all the conflict. And again, instead of looking each other as an enemy, look at each other as a team and work things out. Hi, Levi. Don't feel bad. There are men and women that do that. It's not us, but them and their inability to communicate truthfully. Thank you, Levi, for the empathy. And yes, I it took me a while to actually let go of the self doubt of like, oh, something's wrong with me, instead, and hating and being angry at those people who ghosted me. Uh, just be in a place of like, you know what? Okay, there must be something there that they wasn't aligned with them, and that's fine. They haven't to communicate, to lean into a scared conversation. I find it difficult, and they're probably having difficult time, or they're just a complete jerk. And I'm glad that they even walk away from me if that's the case, right? Ian, you are too strong of a woman, Gladys. I admire your strength, and that's what gives your work authenticity. You are so well spoken and delivered. Aw, thank you. Thank you, Ian. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you for bearing with the ads. I appreciate it. We're coming to an end of this live stream, and I really just appreciate everyone who stick around. Let me actually share the blueprint now that you can take. I love taking tests, personality tests, just so I have a better understanding of myself. And yesterday, I took a personality test, and my result is protagonist, ENFJ. Very interesting. Not sure if you're familiar with that personality test. If so, what's your result? Share it. So let me share. All right, there you go. So if you want to find out your erotic blueprint, feel free to click that. Once this live stream go live as well in YouTube, I will. Uh, well, anyway, for those of you who stick around, you actually can take advantage and get this take your result, and it's completely free. There's a more comprehensive one that you have to pay $17, but this one is completely free. So at least you will have an idea of your primary erotic erotic blueprint. And please share it in the chat once this goes live. I would love to hear your result and how does it resonate for you? Do you think it relates or what? Oh, that's amazing. That's great. Sometimes we change as well. Depends on where we're at. Alrighty, thank you so much, everyone who stick around. I really appreciate, and I love sharing the things that I'm learning. As I've said before, the best way to learn is to teach, and I'm just so happy and glad that I have the space to actually share the things that I'm learning, and hopefully, people who are listening are able to get a nugget or two as well. So, thank you so much, everyone, for sticking around. Have an orgasmic day, people. Mwah. Take care. Bye bye.